Let's be real, the housing market has been an absolute roller coaster for years now. But what if things are about to change? Well, according to the real estate brokerage Redfin, we are heading for a massive shift in 2026. They're calling it the Great Housing Reset. And in this explainer, we are going to break down exactly what that could mean for you.
And look, this question, it really hits close to home, right? This isn't just about some abstract economic forecast. This is about your money, your future, and how you might tackle one of the biggest purchases you'll ever make. So let's get right into the nuts and bolts of what this reset is all about.
So at its core, the Great Housing Reset isn't some dramatic crash or a wild boom. The two key words you really need to remember here are slow recovery and normalization. It's all about the market finally catching its breath and finding a new, more stable rhythm after all the chaos we've seen.
Okay, so what does normalization actually look like in practice? Let's crunch the numbers and get into the key figures that Redfin is forecasting for 2026.
First up, let's talk home sales. Redfin is predicting a pretty modest 3% increase. Now that might not sound like a huge boom, but what it really signals is a move toward a much more balanced, less frantic market for anyone looking to buy. And now for the number everyone is watching, mortgage rates. The prediction is for the average 30-year fixed loan to land around 6.3%. You know, the key here isn't just the number, it's the predictability. For anybody trying to actually budget for a home, this kind of stability is a huge, welcome change from the wild swings we've gotten used to. So, with steady but not spectacular growth, you might be asking, what's the real game changer here? Well, it's this. For the first time in what feels like forever, your ability to actually afford a home might be on the rise.
And this chart just lays it all out perfectly. Redfin is forecasting that while home prices might go up by just 1%, wages are expected to climb by about 2%. This is a huge deal. It means your income could finally be outpacing the cost of housing. That 1% gap might seem small, but believe me, it's the trend itself that really matters for affordability.
So this little shift in affordability, it's also starting to change the very definition of what a home buyer even looks like. Let's dive into the new, creative ways people are making homeownership a reality. Just listen to what Redfin's chief economist Daryl Fairweather has to say. She points out that even with conditions getting a little better, buying a home by yourself is still a massive challenge for so many people. And that's leading to a total rethink of the typical home buying household.
We're seeing the rise of what you could call the home buying team. This could be adult kids buying a home with their parents, creating these multi-generational households all under one roof. Or it might be groups of friends pooling their cash to get on the property ladder together. It's a really smart, creative solution to a very modern affordability problem.
Now, this reset isn't just about the buyers. It has huge implications for people who already own their homes. In fact, it looks like a major boom is just around the corner for them.
Get a load of this number, a predicted 30% surge in refinancing applications. A 30% jump. And we're not just talking about saving a few bucks a month here. This is about homeowners finally being able to unlock their equity for big life events, like funding a kid's education or finally building that dream kitchen.
But wait a second, that's a fair question. With rates still hanging around 6.3%, who exactly is in a position to benefit from refinancing? Well, the answer lies in who bought their homes when rates were at their absolute peak.
And this chart right here tells the whole story. While most homeowners are sitting pretty with those super low rates they locked in a while back, a full 20%, that's 1/5 of all homeowners, are paying more than 6% on their mortgages. That is a massive pool of people just waiting for the right moment to refinance. And 2026 could be that moment. All right, and finally, beyond all the financial shifts, the Great Reset is also expected to bring a major technological evolution in how we actually find a home in the first place. This part is pretty cool.
For as long as I can remember, a home search started with a location, right? A zip code, a city. Well, that whole idea is changing. The forecast is that AI is going to play a much bigger role, letting you search not just by geography, but by your actual lifestyle. Just imagine searching for a home that's in a walkable neighborhood with great coffee shops, or near some good mountain biking trails. AI will actually be able to understand what you mean and find you the right neighborhood, not just the right address.
So after looking at the numbers, the buyers, the current owners, and the tech, let's pull it all together. What is the big picture takeaway for the Great Housing Reset of 2026?
Okay, here's your 2026 snapshot. In a nutshell, we're looking at a market that's defined by slow but steady growth. the crucial part, your buying power might actually increase as your wages start to outpace home prices. That's going to fuel these new creative paths to ownership, like co-buying with family or friends. At the same time, homeowners with high rates are going to spark a refinancing boom. And weaving through all of it, AI will make the search for a home smarter and way more personal than it's ever been.
It all kind of leads to one final big thought. This great housing reset, it seems to be about a lot more than just prices and interest rates. With the rise of co-buying and multi-generational living, you really have to wonder, as the market finds its new normal, is our very definition of what it means to be a homeowner finding a new normal too?